The Warriors are on fire. Nobody expected it. Not against this Thunder squad, the best team in the league, a powerhouse that had barely tasted defeat. Yet somehow, the Warriors did it again. Not once, but twice. They're only the second team all season to take down the Thunder multiple times. And this time, they did it with a statement. 116-109. That was the final. A game that should have been an easy win for Oklahoma City turned into a grind. Even with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander exploding for 52 points, it didn't matter. The Warriors had an answer for everything. And it wasn't just one guy carrying the load. They had contributions everywhere. Andrew Wiggins stepped up huge. 27 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal, and a block. The numbers? Solid. But the impact? Massive. He played like a guy who was tired of hearing about what he used to be. No distraction, just locked in. Then there was Looney, who had one of his best offensive performances of the season. 18 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, and a ridiculous 4 blocks. That's right, 4 blocks. He wasn't just out there setting screens and doing the dirty work. He was protecting the rim like his life depended on it. And you know Steph Curry was going to get his. 21 points, a rebound, and a steal. He didn't need to take over because the Warriors didn't need that tonight. What they needed was balance, and that's exactly what they got. Dennis Schroder, underrated performance, 9 points, 4 rebounds, and 7 assists. The guy was dishing the ball everywhere, making sure everyone got involved. Gary Payton II, energy booster, 15 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, and a steal. He was flying all over the place, doing what he does best, hustling, fighting for loose balls, and making the Thunder work for everything. Brandon Pods, Buddy Hield, and Gui Santos, not forgotten. 11 points from Pods, 5 from Hield, 3 from Santos. Not eye-popping, but they did exactly what they needed to do. Rebound, passing, making the right plays. It was a team effort from start to finish. Meanwhile, the Thunder had one man carrying the entire offense. 52 points from Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. 52, and they still lost. That's not a knock on. He did everything he could, but the Warriors' defense made sure nobody else got going. That was the difference. This wasn't a fluke. This wasn't just a lucky night. The Warriors earned this one. They took down the best team in the league and showed they still have something to say this season. 2 straight wins, momentum building, and if they keep playing like this, they're not going to be an easy team to stop. But the thing for the Warriors, it's how good the players have been this season. And every Warriors fan knows we need to start with Andrew Wiggins. Andrew Wiggins is finally looking like himself again. Last season was rough, but this year he's proving why he's still a valuable piece for the Warriors. He's averaging 17.1 points, 4.6 rebounds, and 2.3 assists per game, showing he's back in rhythm. That's a massive leap from last year when he didn't even crack the top 200 in player rankings. Now, he's sitting comfortably in the top 100, and that's no small feat. His overall player impact has been solid, ranking right alongside Miles Bridges, who's considered a top 100 player himself. And when it comes to ball handling, he's better than nearly 70% of the league. That's a major improvement considering how much he struggled to create his own shot last season. His ability to navigate through defenders and control the tempo is miles ahead of where he was. Wiggins' assist numbers might not blow anyone away, but his playmaking has been steady. He's assisting on 12.11% of his teammates' buckets when he's on the floor, which is actually better than nearly half the league. He's dishing out 6 points worth of assists per game, while only turning the ball over 1.3 times on average. That's a turnover percentage of just 7.07%, ranking him ahead of 84% of players. That level of efficiency is exactly what the Warriors need from him. Scoring-wise, he's taking 15.1 attempts per game and making them count. He's scoring more efficiently than 70% of the league, which is a massive boost to their offense. He's not just getting up shots, he's making them at an effective rate while keeping his mistakes minimal. That balance has been crucial in keeping the Warriors' offensive flow intact. By the way, if you guys enjoy these deep dives, I'll be posting every day during the season. I genuinely appreciate if you could subscribe. Thanks. Anyways, Wiggins. Let's talk defense. Wiggins is still a reliable defender, ranking in the top 70% in mixed team defense. That means he's not just stopping guys one-on-one, but he's also disrupting opposing teams' entire offensive flow. He's averaging 0.9 steals and 0.8 blocks per game while grabbing 3.1 defensive rebounds. His team's defensive efficiency when he's on the floor is 113.1, which puts him ahead of nearly half the league. His ability to contest shots, stay in front of his man, and make life tough for scorers is something the Warriors desperately need. On the boards, he's pulling in 4.6 rebounds per game, which ranks better than nearly 60% of players. 3.1 of those are coming on the defensive end, while 1.5 are offensive rebounds. He's snagging 4.46% of all available offensive rebounds while he's on the floor, ranking him ahead of 1/3 of the league. But defensively, he's even better, grabbing nearly 10% of available defensive rebounds, which ranks him in the top 77%. That hustle on the glass keeps possessions alive and limits second chance opportunities for opponent. His usage rate sits at 23%, meaning nearly a quarter of the Warriors' possessions end in a shot, assist, or turnover from him. That's a solid workload for a player in his role. He's putting up 13.4 field goal attempts per game, getting to the free throw line 3.9 times, dishing out 2.3 assists, and committing just 1.3 turnovers. That's the kind of efficiency every team wants from their wing players. Wiggins has been quietly putting together a bounce-back season, and it's time people give him his credit. He's scoring efficiently, limiting mistakes, playing solid defense, and contributing on the boards. The numbers back it all up. He's back to being the two-way threat the Warriors need. But then we'll talk about Curry. Steph Curry is still that guy. Even with all the changes around him, he's putting up 22.3 points, 4.8 rebounds, and 6.4 assists per game. That scoring output puts him ahead of 94% of the league. And it's not just about volume. He's still one of the most efficient scorers out there. His effective field goal percentage sits at 56.9%, which means he's scoring at a higher rate per shot than 70% of the league. That's what makes him so dangerous. Every shot he takes has a good chance of going in. His true shooting percentage is even crazier. At 60.5%, he's more efficient than 77% of players when accounting for threes, twos, and free throws. For every scoring attempt he takes, he's getting 1.2 points. That level of efficiency is what separates him from everyone else. The volume is high, but the accuracy is even higher. Curry's impact goes beyond just putting the ball in the basket. His offensive rating is a ridiculous 118.6, meaning the Warriors are scoring at an elite level when he's on the floor. Defensively, his rating is 115, and when you put it all together, he has a net rating of plus 3.6. That means when he's out there, the team is outscoring opponents and winning his minutes. That's what a superstar does. He's been in a positive plus-minus for nearly 60% of the games this season, and the team is 6.6 points better when he's on the floor compared to when he's off. That's an insane gap. Now let's talk about that hand. Curry's ball handling ranks in the top 95% of players. That's not just for show. His ability to control the ball, navigate through defenses, and create his own shot is still among the best in the world. And it's not just about scoring. His passing has been just as elite. He's assisting on 29.34% of his teammates' buckets when he's on the floor. That's a top-tier assist rate. He's setting up 15.3 points per game through assists, while still carrying the scoring load himself. Turnovers are always part of the equation with high-usage players, but Curry's taking care of the ball better than most. His turnover percentage is just 10.79%, meaning he's turning the ball over less than 41% of players in the league. For someone handling the ball as much as he does, that's a solid ratio. Defense is never going to be Curry's calling card, but he's still holding his own. He ranks in the top 67% of players in overall team defense. He's grabbing 4.2 defensive rebounds per game, swiping 1.1 steals, and even blocking half a shot per game. The Warriors' defensive efficiency when he's on the floor sits at 115, and while it's not elite, he's still making an impact. And then there's his usage. He's involved in 28.1% of the Warriors' offensive plays, meaning more than one out of every 4 possessions. Ends with Curry taking a shot, passing for an assist, or turning the ball over. That's an insanely high workload, and he's handling it like a true superstar. He's putting up 17 field goal attempts per game, getting to the free throw line 3.2 times, dishing out 6.4 assists, and turning the ball over 3 times per game. He's playing 66.2 possessions per game, and every one of those is a chance for him to change the game. Curry isn't just putting up numbers, he's still one of the most impactful players in the league. His scoring is elite, his efficiency is off the charts, his playmaking is underrated, and his presence completely changes how teams have to defend. The Warriors are still running through him, and as long as he's playing at this level, they'll always have a shot. But then I want to talk about Looney. Looney might not be putting up flashy numbers, but his impact is undeniable. He's averaging 5 points, 6.9 rebounds, and 1.8 assists per game. And while those stats don't jump off the page, his value to the Warriors goes way beyond the box score. Looney is the definition of a glue guy, doing all the little things that help the team function. He's shooting 52.4% from the field, ranking ahead of 66% of the league. He doesn't force shots or try to do too much. He plays within the offense takes high percentage looks, and makes smart decisions. Looney's presence on the floor directly affects winning. His offensive rating sits at 111.6, and his defensive rating is 109.7, giving him a net rating of plus 1.9. That means when he's on the floor, the Warriors are outscoring their opponents. That's exactly what you want from a role player. Somebody who makes winning plays without demanding the ball. He's been in positive plus-minus situations for exactly half of the games this season, and even when you factor in his on-off impact, he's still a plus 0.2 for the team. It might not sound like much, but for a player in his role, those numbers prove how steady and reliable he is. One of Looney's biggest strengths is his decision-making. He rarely makes mistakes and always knows where to be on the floor. His ball handling ranks better than 65% of players, which is impressive for a big man. He's not out there breaking down defenders off the dribble, but he's comfortable handling the ball in traffic, making quick reads, and keeping the offense flowing. His assist rate sits at 15.62%, meaning he's assisting on a solid portion of his teammates' buckets when he's on the floor. For a center, that's impressive. He's creating 4.4 points per game through assists, while only turning the ball over 0.6 times per game. That gives him a turnover percentage of just 8.1%, which is better than 74% of players in the league. That's elite efficiency. He's making smart passes without giving up possessions. Looney's impact on defense is just as important as his offensive contributions. He ranks in the top 89% in mixed team defense, meaning he's not only locking down his individual matchups, but he's also helping the team's overall defensive scheme. He's a strong, disciplined defender who rarely gets caught out of position. He's averaging 4 defensive rebounds per game, swiping 0.8 steals, and blocking 0.4 shots. The Warriors' defensive efficiency when he's on the floor is 109.7, which is a solid mark. He's doing everything he can to protect the paint, contest shots, and switch onto perimeter players when necessary. His ability to guard multiple positions and hold his own against bigger players makes him a key piece of the Warriors' defense. Now, when it comes to rebounding, Looney is elite. He's averaging 6.9 rebounds per game, ranking 38th in the entire league. But where he really stands out is on the offensive glass. He's grabbing 2.9 offensive rebounds per game, which puts him ahead of 98% of players. That's a game changer. His offensive rebound percentage is a ridiculous 14.85%, meaning he's securing a massive chunk of second chance opportunities for his team. Those extra possessions are crucial, especially for a team that thrives on ball movement and outside shooting. Looney's ability to extend plays with his rebounding is one of his biggest strengths. On the defensive boards, he's just as effective. He's grabbing 24.02% of all available defensive rebounds when he's on the floor, ranking better than 93% of players. That's a huge deal because it limits opponents' second chance opportunities. Looney's impact might not always be obvious, but the Warriors know exactly how valuable he is. He sets hard screens, makes the right passes, keeps possessions alive, and plays solid defense. His consistency and reliability make him the perfect fit for the Warriors system. He doesn't need plays run for him to be effective. He just does his job at a high level every single night. Whether it's grabbing an offensive rebound, making a smart pass, or switching on to a quicker player on defense, Looney always seems to be in the right spot. The best part about Looney, he never complains, never takes a possession off, and always plays with maximum effort. He's the definition of a winning player. His teammates trust him, the coaching staff relies on him, and his production speaks for itself. Every championship team needs a guy like Looney, someone who doesn't care about the spotlight, but always delivers when it matters. The Warriors know exactly how important he is, and even if he doesn't get the headline, his impact on winning is undeniable. But next, we'll talk about Schroder. Dennis Schroder might be new to the Warriors, but he's already making a difference. After starting the season with the Nets, he was traded about a month ago, and since then, he's been exactly what the team needed. He's bringing playmaking, scoring, and veteran experience, giving the Warriors another reliable ball handler who can create offense and keep things moving. He's averaging 14.9 points, 2.5 rebounds, and 5.5 assists per game, which ranks him among the top 30 in assists. That's huge for a team that relies on ball movement and smart decision making. Schroder's ball handling has always been elite, and the numbers back it up. He ranks better than 93% of players in handling ability, which shows how well he controls the tempo and navigates through defenses. He's got one of the quickest first steps in the league, allowing him to break down defenders, attack the paint, and create space for himself and his teammates. That ability is why he's assisting on 28.84% of his teammates' made shots when he's on the floor. That's a huge number for a player still adjusting to a new system. He's setting up 14.1 points per game through assists, proving he's not just looking for his own shot, he's creating offense for everyone around him. Turnovers are always something to monitor for primary ball handlers, but Schroder has done a solid job keeping them under control. He's averaging 2.3 turnovers per game, but when you look at his overall involvement, that number isn't bad. His turnover percentage is just 10.74%, meaning he's taking care of the ball better than 41% of the league. That's a solid ratio for a guard who's handling the ball as much as he is. When you're setting up teammates and attacking defenses as often as Schroder, some turnovers are expected, but he's done a great job minimizing mistakes while still being aggressive. Scoring-wise, Schroder has been a steady contributor. He's putting up 14.9 points per game, ranking him 71st in the league. His field goal percentage sits at 41.9%, which isn't the most efficient, but that's expected for a player who takes a lot of tough shots. He's attempting 12.6 field goals per game and getting to the free throw line 2.6 times per game, showing he's still capable of putting pressure on opposing defenses. His usage rate is 23.1%, meaning nearly a quarter of the Warriors' offensive possessions end in a shot, assist, or turnover from Schroder. That's a significant role, and he's handling it well. What makes Schroder so valuable is his ability to attack defenses and keep the ball moving. The Warriors' offense thrives on quick decision-making, and Schroder fits right into that style. He doesn't just dribble the air out of the ball. He's constantly looking for opportunities to push the pace, find open teammates, and create quality shots. His quick first step lets him get into the lane, force defenses to collapse, and either finish at the rim or kick it out to open shooters. That kind of playmaking is exactly what the Warriors needed, especially when Curry isn't on the floor. Another big part of Schroder's game is his ability to operate in the pick and roll. He's one of the better pick and roll guards in the league, using his speed and ball handling to navigate screens and either create for himself or his teammates. He's great at finding the roll man, hitting cutters, or pulling up for a mid-range jumper if defenders go under the screen. That skill set adds another dimension to the Warriors' offense, giving them more versatility in half-court situations. Defensively, Schroder isn't an elite stopper, but he's scrappy and tough. He competes on that end, using his quickness to stay in front of his man and disrupt passing lanes. He's not going to lock down bigger guards or wings, but he brings effort and energy, which is exactly what the Warriors need. He's not afraid to take on tough assignments, and his defensive intensity helps set the tone when he's on the floor. Since joining the Warriors, Schroder has been a valuable addition. He's providing playmaking, scoring, and another reliable ball handler who can take some of the pressure off Curry. That's been one of the biggest benefits of having him. He gives the Warriors another player who can initiate the offense, control the tempo, and keep the team organized. That's something they desperately needed, especially in games where Curry isn't on the floor or when defenses are keying in on him. Schroder might not be the flashiest addition, but his impact is clear. He's scoring at a solid clip, creating offense for his teammates, and making smart decisions with the ball. His ability to push the pace, navigate through defenses, and make plays in the half court has given the Warriors another weapon. Even though he's still adjusting to the team system, he's already making a difference. And as he gets more comfortable, his role will only continue to grow. For a team that relies on smart, unselfish basketball, Schroder is a perfect fit. He doesn't need to dominate the ball to be effective. He just makes the right plays at the right time. Whether it's creating for teammates, knocking down a timely bucket, or bringing defensive energy, he's doing exactly what the Warriors brought him in to do. His presence has helped stabilize the backcourt, and as the season goes on, he'll continue to be an important piece in their rotation. But after him, we'll talk about Pods. Brandon Pods might be a young player, but he's already making his presence felt. He's averaging 8.7 points, 4.5 rebounds, and 3.3 assists per game, showing that he's more than just a scorer. He's an all-around contributor. He's been one of the most reliable role players for the Warriors, bringing energy, smart decision-making, and a high basketball IQ to the floor. Even though he's still developing, his impact has been undeniable. Pods' efficiency has been solid, shooting 41.9% from the field, which ranks better than 81% of the league. He's not a high-volume shooter, but when he takes shots, he makes them count. He understands his role and doesn't force bad looks, which is exactly what the Warriors need from him. Instead of hunting for his own points, he plays within the system, making smart reads and taking advantage of open opportunities. His offensive rating is 112, which means when he's on the floor, the Warriors are producing efficiently, but his real impact comes on the other end. His defensive rating is 106.8, making him one of the team's best defenders statistically. His net rating of plus 5.1 shows just how much better the Warriors play when he's in the game. That number ranks him ahead of 83% of players, which is a huge accomplishment for someone in his first year. Pods' ball handling is another underrated part of his game. He ranks in the top 83% of players in handling ability, meaning he's comfortable with the ball in his hands, can break down defenders, and keep the offense moving. He's not just a catch and shoot player, he can create off the dribble, attack the rim, and make plays for his teammates. His assist rate is 19.53%, meaning he's setting up nearly 1/5 of his teammates' made shots when he's on the floor. That's an impressive mark for a young player still learning the Warriors system. He's dishing out 3.3 assists per game while only turning the ball over 1 time per game. That's an assist to turnover ratio that any coach would love. His turnover percentage is just 8.13%, meaning he's taking care of the ball better than 74% of the league. He's playing with poise beyond his years, making smart decisions without getting reckless. Defensively, Pods has been a force. He ranks in the top 93% of the league in overall team defense, meaning his presence alone is making it harder for opponents to score. He's averaging 1 steal per game, showing he has quick hands and good instincts in the passing lanes. He's also grabbing 3.5 defensive rebounds per game, proving he's not just sticking to his assignment, he's helping the team finish possessions by securing boards. The Warriors' defensive efficiency when he's on the floor is 106.8, which is a great number for someone still adjusting to the speed of the NBA. And speaking of rebounding, Pods has been more effective on the glass than most guards. He's pulling down 4.5 rebounds per game, ranking 99th in the league. He's grabbing 1 offensive rebound per game, putting him ahead of 48% of players, and his offensive rebound percentage is 3.64%. That means he's keeping possessions alive by hustling for second chances, which is something every team values. On the defensive boards, he's even better. He's grabbing 13.83% of available defensive rebounds, ranking better than 60% of the league. For a guard, that's an impressive number. He's not just standing around waiting for big men to grab rebounds, he's actively going after them, securing possessions, and helping the team push the pace in transition. Pods' game isn't about putting up flashy numbers, it's about doing all the little things that help teams win. He plays tough defense, takes care of the ball, and makes smart plays on both ends. His ability to impact winning, even without dominating the scoring column, makes him a perfect fit for the Warriors system. He's efficient, he hustles, and he understands how to play team basketball. Even though he's still developing, he's already proving to be a valuable piece for the Warriors. His combination of defense, rebounding, playmaking, and basketball IQ is rare for a young player. He's making winning plays, staying efficient, and showing why he belongs in the rotation. As he continues to grow and get more comfortable, his role will only expand, and the Warriors are lucky to have him. After him, though, we can talk about Moody. Moses Moody might not be putting up massive numbers, but his efficiency and reliability make him a key piece for the Warriors. He's averaging 8.6 points, 2 rebounds, and 1.2 assists per game. And while those numbers don't jump off the page, his impact goes beyond just stats. He plays his role perfectly, providing solid shooting, smart decision-making, and consistent energy on both ends of the floor. Every team needs players who don't demand the ball, but still make winning plays. And Moody has been exactly that kind of player this season. His shooting has been a bright spot, hitting 43.9% from the field, ranking him ahead of 57% of the league. But it's not just about making shots, it's about making the right shots. His effective field goal percentage is 56.3%, meaning he's scoring more efficiently per shot than 68% of players. That's an elite number for someone in his role. He's getting 1.1 points per field goal attempt, which shows he's not just throwing up shots, he's taking high-quality looks and converting at a strong rate. His true shooting percentage is even better, sitting at 58.7%. That ranks him ahead of 67% of players, factoring in free throws and three-pointers. When he takes a scoring attempt, he's averaging 1.2 points, which is a high-level mark for a role player. He's not forcing bad shots or taking inefficient looks. He knows his strength and plays within them. That's exactly what a team like the Warriors needs. A player who can step in, hit open shots, and make smart plays without disrupting the flow of the offense. Moody's usage rate sits at 19%, meaning he's involved in nearly 1/5 of the Warriors' offensive possessions. That's a solid number for someone in his role. He's taking 6.8 field goal attempts per game, getting to the free throw line 1.4 times and keeping his turnovers low at just 0.7 per game. That's the kind of mistake-free basketball that earns a coach's trust. He's not someone who's going to take bad shots or make careless decisions. He knows exactly what he needs to do and sticks to it. One of Moody's biggest strengths is his ability to contribute without needing the ball in his hands all the time. He moves well without the ball, finds open spots on the floor, and knocks down shots when his number is called. That's a skill that can't be overlooked. He spaces the floor, making defenders think twice about helping off of him. And when he gets an open look, he takes advantage. His ability to play within the Warriors' motion offense makes him even more valuable. He doesn't just stand around waiting for the ball. He cuts, sets screens, and finds ways to get involved without forcing things. That kind of movement creates opportunities for both himself and his teammates. The Warriors' system is all about constant motion, and Moody fits perfectly within that style. Defensively, he's continuing to develop, but he's already showing promise. He brings effort and discipline on that end, staying in front of his man and using his length to contest shots. He's not a lockdown defender yet, but he's improving every game. His 2 rebounds per game might not seem like a lot, but he's active on the glass and doesn't back down from physical play. He's showing that he can be trusted in defensive rotations, and as he gains more experience, he'll only get better. One of the most important things about Moody's game is that he doesn't try to do too much. He understands his role and executes it at a high level. Some young players come into the league trying to prove they can be stars, taking bad shots, and forcing the issue. Moody isn't that kind of player. He plays within the team structure, makes smart decisions, and does whatever is needed to help the team win. The Warriors don't need him to be a top scorer. They need him to be efficient, take advantage of his opportunities, and bring energy every time he's on the floor. That's exactly what he's been doing. He's someone the coaching staff can trust, and that's why he's earning consistent minutes. As the season progresses, Moody's role could continue to grow. He's proving that he can be relied upon. And for a team with championship aspirations, having players like Moody is essential. He's efficient, smart, and willing to do the little things that contribute to winning. Whether it's hitting a timely 3, making the extra pass, or playing solid defense, he's always engaged and making an impact. Even though he's not one of the biggest names on the team, his presence is felt every time he steps on the floor. The Warriors have always valued players who can play within their system while still making a difference. And Moody is a perfect example of that. His ability to knock down shots, move without the ball, and play solid defense makes him an important part of the rotation. He might not be putting up 20 points per game, but the value he brings goes beyond scoring. Moody is exactly the type of role player every team needs: efficient, reliable, and always ready to step up when called upon. As he continues to develop, there's no doubt he'll keep finding ways to impact winning. But then I want to talk about Gary Payton. Gary Payton might not be putting up massive numbers, but his impact on the Warriors is undeniable. He's averaging 5 points, 2.9 rebounds, and 1.3 assists per game. And while those stats don't jump off the page, his efficiency, hustle, and defensive intensity make him an essential piece of the team. Every championship level squad needs role players who do the little things: defend, rebound, make smart decisions, and Payton has been doing exactly that. His efficiency has been outstanding, shooting 55.1% from the field, ranking ahead of 79% of the league. That's no accident. He takes high-quality shots, mostly around the rim, and knows how to finish plays. His effective field goal percentage sits at 58.8%, which ranks him better than 76% of players. That means he's converting his opportunities at a highly efficient rate, which is exactly what the Warriors need from him. He's averaging 1.2 points per field goal attempt, proving how well he capitalizes on his chances. His true shooting percentage is even better, sitting at 60.4%, ranking ahead of 48% of the league. That accounts for all shot attempts, including 3-pointers and free throws, and it shows just how effective he is when given the opportunity to score. He's only taking 3.9 shots per game, but he makes them count. That's the definition of efficiency. He doesn't need high volume to make an impact. When Payton is on the floor, he finds ways to contribute without demanding the ball. Payton's offensive rating is 114.1, meaning when he's playing, the Warriors are producing at a strong rate. His defensive rating is 111.1, giving him a net rating of plus 2.9. That means the team plays better when he's on the court, outscoring opponents during his minutes. His presence alone makes a difference, even if it doesn't always show up in the box score. While Payton isn't known for his ball handling, he still ranks better than 48% of players, meaning he's capable of handling the ball when needed. He's assisting on 14.11% of his teammates' made baskets when he's on the floor, showing that he's a willing and effective passer. He's averaging 1.3 assists per game while keeping his turnovers low at just 0.6 per game. His turnover percentage is 10.43%, which is a solid mark for someone in his role. He's making smart decisions with the ball, keeping the offense flowing, and avoiding costly mistakes. Where Payton truly shines is on defense. He's a high-energy defender who thrives on making life miserable for opposing guards. He's averaging 0.7 steals and 0.3 blocks per game, but his defensive impact goes far beyond just stats. He's constantly applying pressure, getting into passing lanes, and forcing opponents into tough shots. His defensive instincts are elite, and he knows exactly how to disrupt an offense without fouling. He's a pest on the perimeter, the kind of defender every team wants, but few actually have. Rebounding is another underrated part of Payton's game. He's grabbing 2.9 rebounds per game, which ranks better than 65% of players. Despite being undersized for his position, he's an active rebounder who competes on every possession. He's pulling down 1.9 defensive rebounds per game and 1 offensive rebound per game, proving that he's willing to battle inside for second chance opportunities. His offensive rebound percentage is 7.17%, ranking him ahead of 80% of players. That means he's securing extra possessions for the team, something that's crucial in tight games. His defensive rebounding percentage is 13.16%, meaning he's grabbing a solid portion of available defensive boards while he's on the floor. That's a great number for a guard, showing he's not afraid to mix it up with bigger players to help his team control the glass. His ability to rebound allows the Warriors to get out in transition quickly, turning defense into easy offense. One of the best things about Payton is that he doesn't need the ball in his hands to make an impact. He's not looking to dominate possessions or take a ton of shots. He's focused on making winning plays, whether it's locking down an opposing guard, diving for a loose ball, or sneaking in for an offensive rebound. He's always engaged and doing the little things that help his team succeed. He's the type of player who can change a game without even scoring, simply by making hustle plays and bringing energy. The Warriors thrive on players who understand their roles and execute them at a high level. And Payton is the perfect example of that. He brings toughness, hustle, and a defensive mindset that every championship team needs. His ability to guard multiple positions, provide efficient scoring, and contribute on the glass makes him an essential part of the rotation. Even though he's not putting up big numbers, his impact is undeniable. He's a glue guy, someone who does whatever is needed to help the team win. Whether it's shutting down an opposing scorer, crashing the boards, or finishing at the rim, Payton brings something unique to the Warriors. His energy is contagious, and his presence alone makes the team better. As the season continues, Payton will remain a key piece of the Warriors' success. He's not someone who needs the spotlight, but he's always making an impact. His defensive tenacity, rebounding ability, and efficient scoring make him a perfect fit for the team's system. Every great team needs players like Payton, guys who don't care about stats, but are always ready to make winning plays. That's exactly what he's doing, and that's why he's so valuable to the Warriors. Payton might not be dropping 20 points a game, but his role is just as important. He's a defensive specialist who hustles, plays smart, and does everything the team needs to win. The Warriors know they can count on him to bring energy and effort every single night, and that's what makes him such a valuable piece of the puzzle. But lastly, I want to talk about Quinton Post. Quinton Post might not be a household name, but he's quietly putting together an efficient season. He's averaging 7.5 points, 2.5 rebounds, and 1.6 assists per game. And while his numbers don't jump off the stat sheet, his impact on the floor is undeniable. He's a smart, efficient player who knows how to play within a system, and that's exactly what the Warriors need from him. His shooting has been solid, knocking down 44.9% of his shots, ranking ahead of 52% of the league. But what really stands out is his efficiency. His effective field goal percentage sits at 57.1%, meaning he's scoring at a higher rate per shot than 71% of players. That's an elite mark for a role player. He's averaging 1.1 points per field goal attempt, which shows that he's taking high-quality shots and converting at a strong rate. His true shooting percentage is even better, sitting at 60%, which ranks better than 73% of the league. That number factors in three-pointers and free throws, showing just how efficient he is when he gets his opportunities. He's only taking 6.1 shots per game, but he makes the most of them, averaging 1.2 points per scoring attempt. He's not out there forcing shots. He plays within the offense, takes what the defense gives him, and makes smart decisions. Post's offensive rating is a ridiculous 123.2, meaning the Warriors are scoring at an extremely high level when he's on the floor. His defensive rating is 122.9, which isn't elite, but his net rating of plus 0.3 shows that he's still contributing to winning basketball. His on-off impact is even better. The team is 8.3 points better when he's playing compared to when he's off. That's a huge number and shows that he's making a positive difference when he's in the lineup. One of Post's underrated strengths is his passing ability. He's assisting on 19.4% of his teammates' made shots when he's on the floor, which is an impressive mark for a player in his role. He's averaging 1.6 assists per game, while keeping his turnovers low at just 0.6 per game. His turnover percentage is only 7.35%. ranking better than 82% of players. That's an elite number. He's making the right passes, creating for his teammates, and doing it all while limiting mistakes. Rebounding is another area where Post has been effective. He's grabbing 2.5 rebounds per game, which ranks him better than 65% of the league. He's pulling down 1.8 defensive rebounds per game and grabbing 0.8 offensive rebounds. His offensive rebound percentage is 5.77%, putting him ahead of 69% of players. That means he's giving the Warriors extra possessions, something every team values. On the defensive boards, he's securing 15.05% of available rebounds when he's on the floor, ranking ahead of 67% of players. He's not just standing around, he's actively helping his team control possessions. His usage rate is 24.2%, meaning he's involved in nearly 1/4 of the Warriors' offensive plays. That's a solid number for someone in his role. He's taking 6.1 field goal attempts per game, getting to the free throw line just half a time per game, and still making an impact with his passing and rebounding. He's not a high volume scorer, but he's finding ways to contribute in multiple areas. One of the best things about Post is that he doesn't try to do too much. He knows his strength, plays within them, and doesn't force the issue. He moves well without the ball, finds open spots on the floor, and takes advantage of the looks he gets. He's a high IQ player who understands his role and executes it perfectly. Defensively, there's still room for improvement, but he's been serviceable. He's not an elite shot blocker or lockdown defender, but he competes and puts in the effort. His defensive rating isn't the best, but his ability to contest shots, rebound, and stay in position helps keep the Warriors' defense steady when he's on the floor. As the season progresses, Post's role could continue to grow. He's proving that he can be trusted in the rotation, and his efficiency makes him a valuable piece for the Warriors. He's not going to be a go-to scorer, but he's exactly the type of player championship teams need. Someone who can step in, play smart, and make an impact without demanding a high volume of touches. Even though he's not putting up big numbers, his presence is felt. He's efficient, he takes care of the ball, and he plays winning basketball. The Warriors value players who know how to contribute in the right ways, and Post is showing that he can be one of those guys. If he continues to play at this level, he'll keep earning more minutes, improving why he belongs in the rotation. He may not be the flashiest player on the court, but his impact is real. The Warriors need guys like Post, players who know their roles, play unselfishly, and do the little things that help teams win. As he keeps developing, he'll continue to be an important part of the Warriors' success. The Warriors are heating up at just the right time, and things are finally clicking. With key players finding their rhythm, role players stepping up, and the team's chemistry improving, this squad is looking more dangerous by the day. Steph Curry continues to be the driving force, but the supporting cast is making a real impact. Andrew Wiggins is regaining his form, Looney is doing the dirty work, and newcomers like Schroder and Quinton Post are proving to be valuable additions. The defense is tightening up, the offense is flowing, and the Warriors are playing with the energy and urgency of a team that knows what's at stake. The depth is finally showing its value, with players like Gary Payton, Moody, and Brandon Pods making game-changing contributions. Every night, someone new is stepping up, and that's what makes this team so dangerous. They're winning key matchups, showing resilience, and building the kind of momentum that's crucial heading into the final stretch of the season. If they keep playing like this, they'll be a real threat when it matters most. The pieces are falling into place, and the Warriors are reminding everyone why they can never be counted out. If you guys enjoyed this, I'll be posting every day during this season. I genuinely appreciate if you could subscribe. Thanks for watching.